Have you ever spent weeks, maybe even months, crafting the perfect plan only to watch it crumble into dust right before your eyes? For an INTJ, this isn't just a setback. It's a full-blown system failure that can feel like a personal attack from the universe itself. But what if I told you that this moment of chaos is exactly where the INTJ's true, hidden genius begins to shine? We're diving deep into the fascinating and often misunderstood world of the INTJ mind. Specifically, we go in to explore what happens inside that strategic brain when the meticulously designed blueprint for the future suddenly becomes useless. It's not just about frustration or anger. It's a complex, multi-stage process that reveals the core of what it means to be a mastermind. Stay with me, because understanding this process might just change how you see every INT, Joe, or even how you see yourself. So, let's set the scene. Imagine an INTJ. Let's call her Anna. Anna has been planning a major career move for the last 6 months. She's researched companies, networked strategically, updated her portfolio, and even anticipated the interview questions. Her plan is a work of art, a fortress of logic with contingency plans for every foreseeable obstacle. The final interview is tomorrow, and it's a mere formality. The job is practically hers. Then she gets an email. Due to unforeseen internal restructuring, the position has been eliminated. Who's like that? The entire intricate structure collapses. What happens now? The first reaction inside the INTJ mind is often a deafening silence. It's not an emotional void, but an intellectual one. The system has encountered an error it cannot immediately compute. It's like a powerful computer freezing. The internal monologue goes from a rapid-fire sequenza of if-then statements to a single, blinking cursor error. Data not found. This is the initial shock phase. The external world might see a stoic, unreadable expression, but internally, the INTJ is rebooting their entire operating system. They aren't processing emotion yet. They're trying to comprehend the sheer illogical nature of the event. This wasn't supposed to happen. It violates the model. This initial freeze quickly gives way to the analysis phase. The INTJ's primary function, introverted intuition, or NI, kicks into overdrive. NI is all about patterns and long-term vision. When a plan fails, the INTJ doesn't just see a failed plan. They see a fractured timeline. Their mind immediately starts scanning for the cause. They replay every step, every decision, every piece of data. Was there a flaw in the original logic? Did they miss a crucial variable? This isn't about self-blame in the emotional sense, but about identifying the weakness in the system. It's an autopsy of the plan. They'll think, okay, the restructuring. Was there any public data hinting at this? Any whispers in the industry? Did I misread the company's financial stability reports? This deep dive analysis is a defense mechanism. By understanding why it failed, they can update their predictive models and prevent it from happening again. Control, even retrospective control, is paramount. Now, here comes the problem, the big challenge for the INTJ. The emotional fallout. While the INTJ is busy running diagnostics, their less developed function, extraverted feeling, or FE, starts to bubble up. But for an INTJ, this isn't a gentle wave of sadness. It's more like a rogue pop-up ad that they desperately want to close. They feel the frustration, the disappointment, and the anger. But these emotions are seen as inefficient, messy data points that corrupt the logical process. They might think, why am I feeling this? It's illogical. The outcome is the outcome. Emotion won't change it. This creates a significant internal conflict. Part of them knows they need to process the failure emotionally, but their dominant instinct is to suppress it and focus on building Plan B. This is where the stereotypical cold or robotic INTJ label comes from. It's not that they don't feel, it's that they view feelings as a distraction from the more important task of This internal struggle leads to the exploration and development stage. After the initial analysis and the battle with their own emotions, the INTJ retreats. This isn't a retreat of defeat, It's a strategic withdrawal to their inner world, their fortress of solitude. This is where the magic really happens. Away from the noise and demands of the outside world, their introverted intuition can work its wonders. They need space to think, to connect new dots, and to envision a new future. They will disconnect, becoming quiet and less responsive. To outsiders, it might look like they're brooding or depressed, but inside, they are world-building. Think of it like a master architect whose first skyscraper design was rejected. They don't just tweak the old design. They go back to the drawing board. But this time, they're not just designing a building. They're rethinking the whole concept of a skyscraper. The failure has provided them with a massive, invaluable data set on what doesn't work. This new information is integrated into their vast mental library. Anna, our INTJ, isn't just looking for another job. She's re-evaluating her entire career path. Was that job truly the optimal path? The company was restructuring. Perhaps I dodged a bullet. What other opportunities does this unexpected freedom present? Maybe this is a chance to start my own consulting firm, something I've considered but deemed too risky. The failure of Plan A has just reduced the risk of Plan G. This is the power of the INTJ Ruban. They don't just recover, they pivot and upgrade. The failure becomes a catalyst for an even grander, more robust vision. And this brings us to the key moment. The unveiling of the new master plan. After a period of intense internal processing, the INTJ emerges. They are not the same person who went into that retreat. They are armed with a new vision, one that is often more ambitious, more refined, and more resilient than the original. This is the moment their auxiliary function, extraverted thinking, or TE, takes center stage. TE is all about implementing logic in the external world. It's the action-oriented, get-it-done part of their personality. The new plan, Plan B, is rarely just a backup. It's a complete evil. Anna doesn't just start applying for similar jobs. She emerges with a 50-page business plan for her own consultancy. She's identified a niche market, projected financials, and outlined a marketing strategy. The plan is detailed, logical, and backed by the brutal lessons learned from the failure of Plan A. When an INTJ presents their new plan, it's with a renewed sense of conviction and purpose. The earlier hesitation and internal conflict are gone, replaced by a calm, focused determination. They have seen the future, and now they are going to build it. Brick by logical brick. The failure didn't break them. It forged them into something stronger. It recalibrated their entire system and pointed them toward a path that was better, even if they couldn't see it before. So, in summary, when a plan falls apart, the INTJ mind goes through a predictable, yet powerful, sequence. First, the system shock, a moment of intellectual freeze. This is followed by an intense, unemotional autopsy of the failure to identify the flaw in the model. Then comes the internal battle, as they try to suppress messy emotions in favor of logic. This leads to a strategic retreat, where in solitude, their intuition works to build a new, superior vision from the ashes of the old one. Finally, they emerge, armed with a new and improved master plan, ready to execute with terrifying efficiency. The collapse of a plan isn't the end for an INTJ. It is a critical and necessary part of their process. It's the unexpected stress test that forces them to evolve, leading to bigger, better, and more brilliant strategies than they could have ever conceived of otherwise. For an INTJ, chaos isn't the enemy. It's just a data point for a much grander design. Now that you understand what happens when an INTJ's plans fail, find out which personality type is their perfect match by clicking the video on your screen.